Kia ora, I'm Miriam Makamo. It was a beautiful Tuesday, a year ago almost to the day. It was 12:51 and Christchurch was at lunch.
Oh my gosh.
Then the unthinkable, an earthquake, a big one, 6.3. It unfolded before us on television. We watched incredulously and we wept for Christchurch. But it wasn't just our tragedy. Half the people who died were foreigners, among them 13 Japanese, young, talented kids full of dreams and supercharged by the prospect of a big Kiwi adventure. They died in the rubble of the CTV building that day. So who were they and what brought them here? Correspondent Mark Crysell travelled to Japan and uncovered an extraordinary story of courage, hope and heartache.
ニュージーランド地震です。日本人28人が不明になっている。
And he said there was a big earthquake in Christchurch.
CTV ビルでの救助捜索活動。
And there was a picture of the demolished CTV building. All we could see a heap of rubble. I thought, oh my God, my daughter.
February 21st, 2011. It's the first day in Christchurch for these Japanese students.
For many of them, it's their first trip overseas, and they're all young.
And fizzing with expectation of what New Zealand has to offer.
It's beautiful and peaceful. Rugby.
Rugby.
Somewhere, on a bridge, they all stop for a group photo.
I see the smiles on the faces, and yeah, I know they were having a good time, all of them.
The next day, they will turn up for lessons at the King's Language School at the CTV building.
There's no way that any of us could have known that, in essence, we were heading into a kind of perfect storm.
They are a long, long way from home. Toyama, a quiet city of around 500,000 people, about 400 kilometres to the west of Tokyo. Known for its seafood, rice farmers and high-tech medical industry.
There's a whole range of these words.
And every year, students from the Toyama College of Foreign Languages travel to Christchurch to improve their English. 2011 was to be no different.
She's here. At the school festival.
Kuniaki Kawahata, the school's professor, recommended his daughter Kyoko go with them.
I knew that King's Education was, to me, the best school. She was in a safe hand.
He took her to the train station, but in the rush, she'd forgotten to book her ticket.
I said to her, don't be like this. You'll never get to Christchurch as scheduled. And usually, her response to me usually is cold, but at the time, she smiled at me. She got on the train and walked down the aisle.
This memory is very important to you, isn't it?
Because that was the last time.
In 24 hours, she joined the Toyama students for their first day at King's Language School. A morning of orientation, lunch, then...
There was a shank.
Oh my gosh. Oh my god.
In an instant, it just suddenly got huge.
I thought I saw the wall separate from the ceiling and I could see through. And at that point, I had no doubt that I was going to die.
We couldn't move. We couldn't think anything and just fall down.
Oh my God, there's the CTV building. Oh, building just fallen down.
David had been standing next to the lift on the third floor. He was now on top of a mountain of twisted metal and rubble.
At that time, two policemen had climbed part of the way up the rubble and had shouted to me that we had to get down.
What was your state of mind?
Shock. I had my cell phone with me and I took it out and took 2 photos.
This is David, stitched up and in shock in Latimer Square, staring at what's left of the CTV building. He just sent a text to the school in Toyama. 2 words: brace yourself.
I thought, everyone's dead. Everyone's died.
Of course, I was thinking of my daughter Kyoko. I was in the pitch dark in my car, and I was shouting at the height of my lung, Kyoko, Kyoko.
Hoping she could hear you.
Yeah.
They were already seeing the grim reality on TV in Japan. It was their children somewhere in that rubble. Principal Hisao Yoshida set up a crisis centre at the school.
And the students were ringing from inside the rubble in the CTV building. They were ringing into here.
Yeah, right.
Screams and cries were piercing the dark ruins. The building had caught fire. Some of those phone calls were terrifying.
She just screamed, "Help! Help me! Help me! I can't breathe! Smoke is around me! I can't breathe!" So I told her, "Calm, be calm. The rescue group will come soon. Don't be confused."
Two friends, Kento and Yukio, were somewhere under all that rubble.
My leg was pinned and I was in a lot of pain.
I could hear Kent was calling me Yukio. So I could hear and I replied to Kento.
A massive concrete block had trapped Kento's leg, but he could still reach his phone. He rang the school.
He said, I'm waiting for the rescue, like he's waiting for a bus. He said, my right leg is numb, but he stayed so calm, and I'm waiting for help.
Incredible.
Yeah.
I could smell smoke, so I thought, that time I thought I will die by burned.
I heard people around me screaming.
Were you scared?
Yes. Very scared. I asked everyone, are you okay? And somebody didn't reply. So I thought, they are died.
Rescue workers were frantically combing the rubble searching for life. After 8 hours, they freed Yukio.
When I see the light, I could feel I'm living. I survived.
Getting Kento out was going to be far tougher.
So they said, we are going to have to cut your leg.
It took 12 hours before Kento would be freed.
At first, they tried to give me anesthetic through my left leg, but they couldn't find the right place. They tried many times and it didn't work. So they used some kind of gel on my leg, and then I fell asleep.
Did you think about what life would be like without your leg?
No, I was only thinking about being rescued.
Kento is 19 years old. This is his new leg. He was the last to be rescued alive. Time had run out for Kyoko Kawahata and 12 other students from Toyama.
If one is not rescued within 72 hours, there's no hope.
Parents and teachers arrived from Toyama, fully expecting to dig through the rubble, but they weren't allowed near the CTV building.
We thought that we had right to go to the site of the disaster, get as close to our children.
The families who'd travelled thousands of kilometres in hope could do nothing but stare through the gates of the Burnham military camp where their loved ones lay.
We wanted our children identified so that we could go back to Japan with our children.
After 2 weeks, Professor Kawahata was told the body of his daughter Kyoko had been recovered. He was taken to the morgue, but couldn't believe that was really her lying there.
And I said sorry. Because I made this proposal. If I had not suggested that she goes to King's Education to begin with, it would not have happened.
Kyoko was the 13th victim from Toyama. Remember this photo taken on the bridge on their first day in Christchurch? More than half the class was now dead. After the break, the Toyama victims of the Christchurch earthquake are now resting in peace on home soil, but their parents still can't. Hisao Yoshida raced to work as soon as he heard about the Christchurch earthquake. Remember, it was the school principal who spoke to the students trapped and terrified under the rubble.
I wanted to forget the voice, but still I sometimes remember the terrible voice.
For 2 weeks, he refused to return home, not even to bathe or sleep.
We had no choice.
As an aggressive Japanese media laid siege outside his door, Mr. Yoshida would not leave.
It seems an extraordinary thing to do, to stay here for 2 weeks.
But I had to do. Yeah.
Why?
Well, because I am the principal of the school.
It's your responsibility.
Yeah.
It's a heavy responsibility.
Yeah, too heavy for me.
But when such a great tragedy befalls a community, it is part of Japanese culture for someone to take the blame. King's Education had assured Mr. Yoshida the CTV building was green-stickered and safe after the massive 7.1 quake in September.
Christchurch is very strong against earthquakes, I thought at that time. And we didn't stop our plan.
But some of the parents placed the blame squarely on Mr. Yoshida's shoulders.
Their parents got angry about that tragedy. They were angry with our school. I could do nothing but to listen to what they said.
This is the Southern Cross Memorial in the school library commemorating the Toyama students who died in Christchurch. When their parents met, Mr. Yoshida was not welcome.
They didn't want Mr. Yoshida to attend. It was especially mothers who gave birth to those deceased children.
If the same thing had happened to my children, I would have felt the same way. And it was more than I could bear, but I tried.
It is a heavy burden to carry, and as winter tightens its grip, we travel into the countryside outside Toyama.
Yeah, we are going to Mr. Hasumoto's house.
And it is snowing today.
Yeah, very cold.
We're meeting the father of one of the victims, and Mr. Yoshida is welcome here. Yotaka Hasumoto's daughter, Yuki, was effervescent, loved to travel, and dreamed of opening a cafe. She was the last of the Toyama victims to be identified. The family waited outside Burnham military camp for her body to be released.
A Maori elder at Burnham told us that we couldn't go on the other side of the fence, but said, "We will look after your children." He said the body breaks down and decomposes, but the souls of your loved ones will always be near you. At that time, I felt that all of the religions of the world were similar.
Every day now, he feels close to Yuki as he prays at a Buddhist shrine inside the house. And her presence is there in her bedroom.
Just the same.
Mr. Hasumoto is determined the memories of his daughter remain positive.
I understand some of the families have been very angry about what happened.
Everybody has felt differently, but for me, I look at the pictures of Yuki when she was in New Zealand and see how happy she was, and that is some comfort.
So this is all yours long here?
Finding peace back home will be a longer journey for Mr. Kawahata.
So how long have your family lived in this area?
Over 100 years.
Kyoko is buried in the same cemetery as her ancestors. Fresh flowers are placed on her grave every day.
What do you think of when you're here?
Oh, I think of her. And then put my hands together like this and then pray for her.
There is solace in working the family's rice paddies. But he cannot forget standing in front of the devastated CTV building.
There are so many buildings still standing, and only that CTV building collapsed. And all we could see was that horrible elevator shaft So again, we asked ourselves why this building alone collapsed.
Next month, the Royal Commission will attempt to answer some of those questions, including whether the building should have been green stickered.
Would you have taken that class there if that building didn't have a green sticker on it?
No, I think people had very good reason to believe that a green sticker, green means safe. What is it safe for? Only a light breeze? You know, a moderate breeze? Is it going to come down in a strong wind?
Would you like to see the buck stop somewhere?
If a mistake has been made, then it's very important that that mistake is addressed.
There is a strong need here to understand why that building collapsed. But Kento and Yukio just want to get on with their lives the best they can.
Konnichiwa.
Konnichiwa.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How are you?
They love their cars, and Kento's had his modified for his new leg.
They changed this part.
Is it nice to be able to drive?
Yes.
The boys will leave college this year, and it seems almost 12 months since the Christchurch quake, Toyama is starting to heal. And the parents of the victims are preparing to forgive.
Actually, the day before yesterday, I was invited to their dinner for the first time after the earthquake. Some parents gave me consoling words. I was so happy. Yeah.
What did that mean to you?
That words meant me very, very, very much. All of them were so precious. Yeah. Dear students.
Well, Kento and Yukio leave college at the end of the school year in April. Kento has landed a good job at City Hall. Yukio's off to university and then he plans to study in the USA. And Sunday would like to acknowledge the assistance of the Asia New Zealand Foundation in the production of that story.